Success was supposed to be my reward for years of sacrifice. But in the middle of a high-stakes business meeting, my world crumbled in an instant. My business partner's phone lit up, and there she was, my wife's smiling face. The call that shattered my trust and ignited my revenge. The boardroom smelled of rich leather and fresh coffee, the air thick with quiet confidence. I sat at the head of the polished mahogany table, my fingers tracing the cool surface as I listened to my business partner, Daniel, discuss quarterly projections. I had built this company from the ground up. Every deal, every decision, every long night at the office I had sacrificed for this success. And for her, my wife, Emily, my anchor in the chaos. Or so I thought. The night before had been like any other. I had come home to a warmly lit house, the scent of vanilla candles filling the air. Emily had been curled up on the couch, dressed in one of my old college sweatshirts, a glass of red wine in her hand. She had smiled at me, the same way she always did. "You're working too hard, love," she murmured as I loosened my tie. "Come sit with me." She pulled me down beside her, her fingers trailing over my arm. Everything felt normal. Perfect, even. But then, the first crack in the illusion, her phone buzzed on the coffee table, and she snatched it up before I could even glance at the screen. Her fingers moved quickly, deleting something. I raised an eyebrow. Who was that? She hesitated, just for a second, before smiling. Just Hannah. She's having another meltdown over her boyfriend? A lie. I didn't know it then, but I felt it. A whisper of doubt that lodged itself in the back of my mind. I brushed it off. I trusted my wife. I was a fool. The next morning, I stepped into that boardroom with a mind full of numbers and negotiations, completely unaware that my life was about to shatter. Daniel was mid-sentence when his phone vibrated against the table. He barely glanced at the screen before answering, his voice casual, almost amused. "Hey, beautiful." I frowned. That voice, it was familiar. Too familiar. "Glad you called," Daniel continued, his lips curling into a smirk. "Last night was incredible. How about dinner at 6:30? Laughter drifted from the speaker. A soft, breathy laugh. My stomach turned to stone. Emily! The room faded around me, the sounds of my colleagues' discussions becoming a dull hum. I stared at Daniel, my pulse roaring in my ears. His eyes flickered to me as if just realizing my presence. He smirked, completely unfazed, and ended the call. I clenched my fists under the table. Who was that? He leaned back in his chair, adjusting his cufflinks. Oh, come on, man. You already know. His nonchalance was a slap to the face. Rage boiled beneath my skin, but I swallowed it down. Not here. Not now. Instead, I forced a smile. Let's finish this meeting. We'll talk later. A flicker of something, perhaps amusement, crossed his face, but he nodded. I was already planning his downfall. That night, I didn't go home. I went to a hotel, letting the rage simmer into something cold, something calculated. I needed evidence. Proof. It didn't take long. A hired investigator, some well-placed cameras, and within days, I had everything. Texts, videos, hotel receipts. She wasn't just cheating, she was mocking me. Laughing about it with Daniel. That was her biggest mistake. The confrontation had to be public. A spectacle. A humiliation that would echo in every corner of their lives. I waited until the company's annual gala, where Daniel and I were set to make a major announcement. The entire industry would be watching. Emily arrived in a sleek black dress, her hand casually draped over Daniel's arm. My stomach twisted at the sight, but I kept my expression blank. Then, I took the stage. I cleared my throat, and the room quieted. My voice was steady, my heart pounding like a war drum. Tonight is a night of celebration, I began, but it's also a night of truth. I clicked a remote, and the large screen behind me lit up. Security footage of Daniel and Emily in a hotel lobby. Text messages, explicit, damning, flashed one by one. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Daniel shot to his feet. You son of a... Sit down, I said coolly. We're just getting started. Emily's face drained of color. Please, we can talk about this. Oh, we will. My voice was ice, just not as husband and wife. Security approached, handing both of them formal letters, Daniel's termination notice and Emily's divorce papers. You're done, I said simply. Both of you. She broke down in tears. Daniel stormed out. The room buzzed with murmurs. And I stood tall. I wasn't broken. I was free. Emily tried to call, to apologize, to beg. I never answered. Daniel? He lost everything. His reputation, his investments, his credibility. He tried to start his own firm, but word spread fast. No one trusted a backstabbing fraud. And me? I moved on. Wiser. Stronger. Some betrayals don't destroy you. They forge you into something untouchable. Like this story? Share your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe for more tales of betrayal, revenge, and justice served cold.